Professor, Department of Geography at Amos University. I welcome all of you in today's webinar. And today we are having with us Professor Kasturi Mukherjee, Departmental Head. Welcome, ma'am.
We can start the program directly.
Okay. So today we are in a journey of that series of sessions that the opportunities one can get studying geography and geoinformatics. What kind of opportunities? So it is a career series which is delivered each and every year from the Department of Geography. And today is we are at the very final session of this series of job opportunities. So today we are going to talk about or discuss about the government job opportunities. I think all of us, we will agree on the point that somehow we still find this is the most lucrative field of job, the government job. It can be central government job, it can be state government job. So government job is something which I think each and every student of geography aspirants, they are aspire for to get that kind of job. So why geography? Why we are focusing on this particular topic, that geography can give you the government job? If you see that, I think all of us, we are here in this particular meeting, we are either we have done our undergraduation in geography, most of us, we have done our post-graduation in geography or in geoinformatics. So as we know that, geography geography is a special science. It's a very common answer. Geography is a study of the earth, the surface of the earth. Apart from that, if I go for a more professional description of geography, you can see that geography is the backbone of right from the national security, disaster management, to smart city development and any sort of policy making. If you look, all the government sectors where government takes its input, it is very much backed by geography. Without geography and without the application of geoinformatics, today we cannot think of any sort of government activity can really become fruitful. So with that note, I want to share with you my today's presentation. I hope my presentation is visible. Anyone can, like, if anyone just, okay, thank you, Shinchon. So today we are going to talk about the government job opportunities for geography and geoinformatics. We are going to explore the public sector. Okay, in the last two series or two sessions, we have explored already the private sector jobs and the research opportunities. So now today in the final session, we are going to explore the career paths for the students who have done undergraduation or post-graduation in geography and geoinformatics. So why geography and geoinformatics matter? My starting point was there already. Okay, so mainly we can divide into three parts where the government focuses and where geography or geoinformatics comes in the role of interplay. If we see first, planning and resource management. If you see today, all the all the government, all sort of government, whichever government is there, whichever party is ruling, the major and the main issue is planning, proper planning. And as we know, as we live in India, where the resource is scarce and the population is very huge, and we have a limited amount of resource. So proper planning of utilization of resources and management of resources is very, very important. Okay. So all the government is very much worried and always, very much proactive in this field of planning and resource management. And India is a vast country. So actually, in today's world, while we have to deal with a very large population and the aerial extension of India is quite huge, so geography and geoinformatics gives us that proper way or proper smart guideline to do resource management and planning in a smarter way. Today, we really don't need to go to the field to get the data about the resource availability or how they can be managed. So all the government sectors now very much keen to prepare maps through the use of GIS and remote sensing. Remote sensing helps them to access the data of resource availability, their constraints, their advantages and disadvantages without sending people over there, like in more comfortably and more efficient and perfect way. So that is why geography and geoinformatics matters for all the government sectors. Growing government demand is there, and that is why we can see that government agencies increasingly they're relying on the GIS and remote sensing for their special analysis to gather special data sets, to build up a data bank which actually needed. And that will lead for better decision making process when we are having the very precise data of the remotest part or the farthest corner of the country, the most remote rural areas of the country, you know through remote sensing. So it becomes very easy and very efficient for the government to take the decisions in a proper way, in a meticulous way. So that is why for the generation of data and decision making, government sectors are getting day by day highly dependent on this particular field of geography and geoinformatics, especially geoinformatics, because as all of us we know that geoinformatics is still growing and geoinformatics is quite a newer field in comparison to geography. Geography is an age-old discipline of study, and geoinformatics is that technical section of that part. As we can see, another thing is like any sort of policy, if we look, any sort of policy that we need, uh, it is always dependent on whatever we are getting through this, you know, through this remotely sensed data. When these data are being gathered, we actually go for the decision making or the policy making. Policy making mainly government policies in two proper fields that I would like to mention. That is disaster management, urban development, environmental monitoring, public policy making. All these fields are far more strengthened due to this kind of application of geoinformatics. So the entire governmental policies are now based on the application of geoinformatics. So from here we can understand that almost each and every sphere of government sector or public sector is very much reliant or very much dependent on the use of the knowledge of geography and the technicalities of geoinformatics. That is why we can say that unquestionably that geoinformatics is getting more and more priority in the field of government sectors. Here, I have tried to show that what are the key government sectors who will be hiring these graduates or postgraduates in geography or geoinformatics. Okay, so here are some core area where most of the people can be hired, and who are the aspirants of government jobs they can actually look for, that is urban and rural development. Like GIS supports for like land use, land cover planning, smart city development, implication of any kind of rural infrastructural development, rural marketing, rural development schemes. Okay, starting from the very core moja map to up to resource mapping and all. So everything related to urban development and rural development is very much dependent on the mapping. If we do not have a proper detailed map of the urban setups or the rural sites, it is very much difficult and it will become inefficient to do the uh, you know planning or developmental policies, to bring up with the developmental policies. So the first and foremost prime sector in the government sector there, which are hiring the geography and geography graduates, these are like urban and rural development uh, areas, like panchayats, or the municipal corporations, the municipalities, this kind of local governing body. Okay, the local governing body mainly hiring that geography or geoinformatics graduates. Okay, then next, I will come to that environmental sector, and the sector which deals with the forestry. Okay, so geospatial analysis is very much important. Nowadays, as we know that environmental concern in today's world, while we are facing high level of pollution, climate change issues, scarcity of water, land degradation. Okay, so deforestation and environmental issues like deforestation, pollution, these in biodiversity protection, environmental impact assessment, coastal management, these kind of things are getting more and more prioritized. Okay, so the government sectors which are working for the environmental sector and the forests. Okay, so these sectors are hiring GIS experts so that they can have a very precise idea about the mapping, precise idea about the changing scenario of the environment. So that is why these sectors, like we have our Central Biodiversity Board, we have Ministry of Environment, like we have uh, our Ministry of rural development and all. So they actually doing this kind of conservation policies, and for environment and forestry, the use for the protection of it and for the conservation, for the sake of conservation of it, the government sector is very much hiring these people. Agriculture and water resources. These agriculture resources, while I'm talking about the agriculture, I'm talking about the land degradation also, the irrigation department also. So all the sectors which are related to agriculture and water resource, so these two sectors are highly dependent on the GIS experts, because remote sensing and spatial data guide for crop assessment, irrigation planning, watershed management, which is very important, watershed management and water resource allocation. For this particular job, we need remote sensing and GIS specialists. We know that each and every year we can see that now, as in the month of August, we are facing that, like now it is monsoon. So we know about the vagaries of monsoon, that sometimes it is like there is flood. Like now we are facing Assam flood. There's a huge flood mm, is going on in Assam. Or in the previous years, we have said we can see that there was a very detrimental drought in Maharashtra, in the village rural areas of Maharashtra. Even few years back in 2023 or 2024, Bangalore, thrived from a very acute water shortage problem, water crisis. So for these, all of this, like for flood, like these kind of things. So water resource and agriculture plays a very crucial role. And for the next thing, that is disaster management, defense, and survey. So these are something core knowledge of geography is needed for survey, as we know, and disaster management. As I given the example of that Assam flood right now, or water scarcity, or acute shortage of drinking water in Bangalore few years back, all are like considered to be a disaster. And this kind of disaster management can be well handled if we have a database, special database, that where actually, like nowadays, when we are facing that Assam is facing a, a devastating flood. So while people or government agencies are trying to mitigate them, so they have to know, because it is unreachable all the time, it is not possible to reach each and every corner. So we need some remote sensing data which can show us that where the inundation is the highest, where the flood occurrence or the water level is going above the danger level, so we can have a precise idea. The government agencies or the government officials can have a very precise and very minute, perfect idea that where to send the people for the rescue first. So it is not possible to go without any knowledge. So that will increase the loss of the government officials, even that will increase the vulnerability of the rescuers. But here we can see that remote sensing can give us a very proper idea before we can reach to the places. And with the help of remote sensing, we can map those places, we can identify those places. So that is why right now for the disaster management, like we know that we have a National Disaster Management Authority, NDMA. So these people, or each and every government, each and every state government has their own disaster management wing. So all these disaster management wing definitely need the remote sensing people or GIS learned people. So they hire a lots of like GIS and remote sensing specialists. So these are some key government sector which are actually hiring the geography and geoinformatics graduates. Next, there are some agencies, right? I want to take some names. That is, first, I think all of us, being a student of geography or geoinformatics, the apex body or very fundamental office of geography, being a geographer, we all know about Survey of India. This is a national authority of surveying, mapping of geospatial data and the topography information across the India. We know this is the apex body who can give you the topo sheets in several forms, in million sheets, or in several forms they can give you this sort of data. So actually, we can look for this. This is on important government department. This is one of the important government department which actually gives the recruitment agency, that is Survey of India. And generally Survey of India takes its candidates through most of the time, sometimes for some posts it takes through Public Service Commission, and sometimes it takes through Union Public Service Commission also. Okay. Now, NRSC and ISRO, these are the two key agencies which actually mainly works on remote sensing. So people who are having a good amount of knowledge on remote sensing, so they can actually look out for this. They can actually look out for this, these two agencies and the job openings there. Okay. So we can see NRSC, National Remote Sensing Center, and ISRO, Indian Space Research Organization. These two, they mainly work on satellite imagery, remote sensing, and geoinformatics mission, and they support the supporting the national development and planning. NRSC and ISRO, these two key agencies or these two nodal agencies who actually work on the core remote sensing purposes. Okay. Now another is their like environment and uh, water defense. We can see that Geological Survey of India or Central Water Commission or for defense, people can look up for DRDO. These are very much nodal agencies which actually work for work with this kind of remote sensing and GIS people. So all of us who are really actually looking for the government jobs, we can look for these particular jobs like that goes under the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, that is MOEFFC, or Geological Survey of India, or as I said, that who wants to work under like defense or something, which is very, very important, that is Defense Research and Development Organization. So these are some areas where we can go for the government jobs. They are the nodal agencies who actually work very proficiently on this kind of remote sensing and GIS based applications. And we can see that if you follow the job portals, you can see that this Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, or Geological Survey of India, uh, or Central Ground Water Commission, or DRDO, Defense Research and Development, they actually look for, they have dedicated posts for GIS analysts, or this kind of remote sensing specialist, or they have dedicated post for it. So always just visit for their websites, have a very keen look, like regular look at these websites, and you can follow the newspaper also, because their mainly majority of their advertisements come through these ads. Next. So now, what type of designation? Okay, I think that really matters for all of us, that what kind of designation one can actually think of, what kind of designation you can expect. So the designation we expect, that is first GIS analyst or GIS officer. This is one designation, like analysis of spatial data, creating maps, support planning decisions across the government programs. These will be your roles, and this is actually a post that many of the government sectors they actually offer. And I would love to mention that one of our alumni, one of our students from 2024 batch, right now he is posted in Department of Environment and Forest in Maharashtra. He has joined there as an GIS officer. So actually, you can look up for, and he went there through PSC. He got the job through Public Service Commission. He cleared that job and he went for the interview, and now he is recruited there. Okay. Secondly, cartographer. Okay, this is a very, very core area of for the geographers. Cartography, or the art of the or the science of map making. It is our own topic, or it is our own subject of cartography, uh, map making. So for the survey, like for the Survey of India job, if you have a specialization of cartography in your master degree, or if you have a master degree or diploma in geoinformatics, that is GIS and remote sensing, so you can actually apply for this post of cartographers. Okay, and various universities in India, especially the central universities, have dedicated post called cartographer. Okay, so if you want to, if you have a keen knack of making maps, so cartographer, the post of cartographer can be a very good option for those who loves cartography, who loves the science of map making. Okay, remote sensing specialist, like to interpret the satellite imageries, doing work with the sensors. Okay, and for the environmental monitoring, resource assessment, or disaster response or disaster management, those people, they can actually, who have a very keen interest in remote sensing, they can go for this kind of post, remote sensing specialist, for NRSC or ISRO or DRDO also. DRDO also gives that opportunity for the remote sensing specialist, that they can actually look for this kind of posts. Okay, so these are some of the these are some of the designations you can expect, like GIS analyst and officer, cartographer, and remote sensing specialist. So these you can expect, these kind of designations you can expect. Okay, now next that I must come, that is teaching profession. When we are talking about government job, the student of geography and geoinformatics, especially the geography students, but nowadays geoinformatics students also have a larger section. Even in our university, in Adams University, we also come across a large section of students who have a very good uh, skill for teaching, and they have knack for teaching also. They want to become teachers, which is a very noble profession. And academic sector is a sector which recruits especially I'm talking about the government organization, schools, colleges, universities, which recruit a very large number of students of geography or geoinformatics. Right now geoinformatics also, especially for the student of geography, they get recruited in this government sector, that is teaching. So we know about the like the very famous school service commission, that we know, all of us, I think, uh, we have that knowledge of school service commission and how it works. It it occurs like each and every year, and you have to go through a written exam, where the written exam mainly it based on the MCQs or very short type answers, and then you pass the written exam. If you clear the written exam, then you will be called for an interview and you will be eligible for an interview, personality test. Then you will be asked for, if you clear the uh, interview also, then you will be asked for joining. Okay, so what are the, there are some levels of the schools, like from not only SSC, that is School Service Commission, that is a state level recruiting agency, but we have some more agencies who can recruit, that is Kendriya Vidyalaya, KVS, that is Kendriya Vidyalaya Sangathan, who recruits a large number of teachers, and it is throughout India. There is NVS, that is Navodaya Vidyalaya Sangathan. Navodaya starts from like few years back. It starts. Ekalavya Model Residential Schools, they also have their own recruitment policy, and they also recruit. Army Educational Welfare Society, that is AEWS. For each and every, you have to pass the central test, that teaching eligibility test. You need to go through the CTET, and then they will ask you to come. The advertisement will come, you will follow, and they will ask you to appear in the interview. So for the central government, we are having Kendriya Vidyalaya Sangathan, KVS, Navodaya Vidyalaya Sangathan, that is NVS, Ekalavya Mission Residential Schools, that is EMRS, Army Educational Welfare Society. And for the state level recruiting agency, we have like the SSC, that is School Service Commission. Apart from School Service Commission, we are having two major recruiting boards, that is State Public Service Commission, that is called PSC, Public Service Commission. There are some schools, SSC generally recruits the government aided schools or government sponsored schools. Okay, there is a difference between government school, in our state particularly, government sponsored school and government schools. So for government schools, which is directly looked after by the government, they are not government sponsored, but directly looked after by the government. uh, for those schools, you need to clear Public Service Commission. The recruitment process is the same. Public Service Commission will take one written exam, totally MCQ, and then after clearing the written exam, you will be asked for the interview or direct face-to-face personality test. Then there is municipal service commissions. The number of schools under municipal service commission is a bit lesser than the number of school service commission, but yes, that this is also a very, very important recruiting agency. They also take the same procedure, the same kind of exams for recruitment as a teacher. Or what will be your key cadres and posts? You can join as a TGT, that is trained graduate teacher of social studies or geography, or postgraduate teacher. Okay, and in geography, so there are two kind of levels. You can join as a graduation level, that is TGT, that is trained graduate teachers, or PGT, that is postgraduate teachers. So there are two levels or two kind of posts are there. So what are the eligible criteria? You must have one UG or PG degree, mandatory B.Ed. It is very, very important. B.Ed is mandatory for so you can understand that for those who wants to become a teacher, they need to give some extra few months or few years to for B.Ed after doing UG or PG. You need to devote some time to get another degree which is mandatory, that is B.Ed. Then you have to uh, clear the CTET, that is central TET or state level TET exam. What will be the core responsibilities? That is, that like teaching the physical geography, human geography, and practical test you need to take, or you need to conduct some surveys, or GIS based practicals, very small practicals. Now there are, like, if you are going for the CBSE board, there are school level GIS also which is introduced. So very small practical works you need to teach them. And career growth can be there. You can join as a PGT, that is trained graduate teacher, and then you can upgrade yourself as a PGT. Then you can go for the other administrative posts. Okay, and the pay scale, I'm not talking about, like it keeps on changing as a pay commission changes, and you can have like, as we know, that the main thing, that is the job security and medical benefits and all that you can have, and you can expect a good amount of job satisfaction and career growth opportunity if you join as a teacher. So now there are a few people who can actually go for the job of teaching, but not in school, but in higher studies. That means in colleges, UG colleges or degree college, which we say, and universities. So there are some recruitment boards, that is, first of all, Public Service Commission. Each and every state has their own Public Service Commission, and through that they generally recruit their teachers. In Public Service Commission, there is a written exam and there is interview. Okay, and for government aided colleges, just like the schools, for government aided colleges in West Bengal, we are having College Service Commission. For College Service Commission, till date, as for per my knowledge, there is no written exam. There is only direct interview. You have to apply through their portal, and they will call you uh, directly for the personality test or directly for the interview. Then you can, if you clear the interview, then you can go for the colleges. Okay, and the central or state universities with direct advertisements. Yes, it is very important. For the universities, we do not have any board or committee or commission. Universities generally recruit their teachers or recruit their professors according to their requirement. All the universities put their advertisement separately when there is a vacancy, one or more vacancy. So you have to follow the various websites of the various universities. So university recruitment is basically based on the requirement of that particular university. So selection method, it is academic performance indicator, that is API score, means your academic score, how many conferences you have. You need some very good research backup, because for the higher studies, research is one of the very important criteria. You need some good amount of research experience, research papers, published articles, because you will get a score on each and everything. Okay, written eligibility test, sometimes applicable and sometimes not, then expert panel interview. So this is the process. And what you need to do, you need to teach UG and PG according to your place of recruitment. If you are joining, there are some colleges right now which are having post graduation also in geography. So if you have joined in a college where you are having UG and PG both, you have to take the classes, you have to go for take the lab classes. And particularly for the universities, the implication or the use of remote sensing and GIS is quite higher. And if you are teaching, if you are a faculty of post graduation, if you are teaching post graduation students, you need to supervise the dissertation, research guidance and all. Okay, so the eligible criteria is master degree in geography or geoinformatics, minimum 55% of marks. Okay, you have to clear UGC net or CSIR net or SET, that is state level eligibility criteria. PhD in geography, in some state it is mandatory, but not all, for all the states. But for university, if you are having a PhD degree, the preference will be given to you for universities. Okay, so there is a pay scale that we all know, and you can have like the promotion aspects are there, assistant professor, then associate, then in university you can go up to the level of professor. In college you can move up to the level of associate professor. Okay, you can get research grants. It is one additional thing which you can get if you got recruited in college or universities. You can get research grants. So while you are teaching, your research career can also grow. You can get the research grants from DST, ICSSR, ISRO, or Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. So there are other so many small, like there are big NGOs, even nowadays industries. There are some industry or houses who gives, like who outsource their projects to the government officials, the assistant professor or associate professor. So if you are joining, if you are going for the higher education level jobs, assistant professor and above of that, so you can develop your research skills also through applying or through getting this kind of research projects. So uh, what will be the eligibility criteria? Degrees in you know geography, geoinformatics, remote sensing. So these criteria are there. You need to have a very good technical skill, which is very, very important for especially the aspirants of geoinformatics. You need to have a very good and very smarter way, a very good proficiency over the GIS softwares. And especially I would prefer, because looking at the market scenario or looking at especially on the open source softwares, you need to have very good skills. At least try to learn 3 or 4 softwares at least, because if as much as software you'll be more flexible to work with. And as you are going to join in the government sector, so you have to deal with the large amount of data. Okay, so data handling is another important aspects which I think you need to develop. One of the most important technical skills, that is data handling. Okay, there are some age and national criteria that uh, that I'm not going to detail because it varies from one job to another. But there is what I can say, there is an average uh, age limit of for applying for the government job is runs between like somewhere between 35 to 40. It varies. Sometimes it can go up, it can go down also, depending on which sector you are going for. And one thing is very, very important, that you need to prepare for competitive exam, because most of the government job, they rely on the written exam first. So be prepared for the competitive job. Okay, and you need rigorous practice and rigorous preparation for that. Try to solve the previous year question, try to look at their pattern of question, what kind of questions are coming, based on that you can actually uh, start your preparation. Okay, otherwise if you are not aware of the recruiting agency, if you are not aware about their demand or about their pattern of the question, that what kind of question they ask, what is the degree of what can I say, what a degree of difficulty of the question you need to look at. Suppose if you are going for SSC, School Service Commission, there is a level of difficulty. But if you are going for like NET exam, the difficulty level will be obviously higher because you are going for higher education. So you need to understand that which sort of job you are approaching for. Based on that, you need to prepare yourself for the competitive exams. Okay, so these are some technical skills. So we can see that uh, there is a steady expansion for geographers, and as right now geoinformatics is one of the growing field, sunshine field in the gamut of geography. So we can see that the recruitments are very much going higher. The number of recruiting agencies are increasing, and the job openings for the geography students and remote sensing students are really increasing. There is a point of time, like when I have done my PG, like somewhere in like sometimes in 2010 or 11. On that point of time, people have a tendency that if you are a student of geography or geoinformatics, you are learning, so only you can do that is teaching. Either you will be one school teacher, or otherwise you will go for college and universities. But nowadays, as I told you have seen that there are n number of recruiting agencies because of the growing demand and efficient and smart use of remote sensing and GIS. There are most of the government agencies, they need most of the ministries, most of the department which are dealing with the public policies, planning, resource management, disaster management. They need people with the knowledge of geography and geoinformatics. This is very important. That is why I'm saying, and disaster management and planning are two of the most flourishing areas where the people having good knowledge of geography and geoinformatics can actually dig into or look at. It is very much future oriented, it's a very much futuristic, and in upcoming days I'm sure the vacancies are going to increase, the demand will be increasing. Okay, these are some distributions which I get from some government job portals, that the recruitment is actually mainly the job openings are the highest in the sphere of urban development. Okay, urban recruitment bodies. Then next comes the forest, environment and forest. Next come agriculture and water resources, and some defense and intelligence. So these are the very key sectors, as I told earlier also. I just added some percentages. These are the key sectors where uh, the geography aspirants or geoinformatics aspirants can think of joining, and they can prepare for it. Okay, so what are the exams? Okay, what are the popular recruitment exam? That is very important to know, because sometimes we have I have seen that our students also, they have a very lack of knowledge or lack of clarity regarding that what are the particular exams they need to go for. you know like when many a times students come that, sir, I want to do a job, I want to get a job in Survey of India. So which exams should I prepare for, which exams should I look at? Okay, so like UPSC, like geological scientists or geophysics or special analyst. So UPSC exams are very much needed for that student of geography and geoinformatics. SSC, State Public Service Commission, they give the notifications, and they generally take the exam related the roles of the geographers or geoinformatics technicians. ISRO scientists or engineer recruitment. With this heading, this kind of ads come: ISRO scientist or engineer recruitment. Okay, so actually look for remote sensing, GIS, or Earth observation, or geospatial research systems. They actually look for this kind of professional or this kind of personals. Okay. GSI, generally they also take some specialized exams. Okay. Specialized geospatial tests along with the surveys, mapping, and remote sensing skills. So these are some popular recruitment exams for jobs or geoinformatics for the students of geography or geoinformatics. And at that point, I want to mention that there are some general jobs also. Okay. What I was talking about till now, what I'm talking about till now, it is I'm majorly focusing on, mainly focusing on the geography oriented jobs where you can actually join and you can show the skills of geography or skills of geoinformatics. But yes, there are some general exams also, like WBCS. There are. Okay. So you can become, like if you have a job, like interested administrative posts, like someone can tell that, sir, I want to become a BDO or SDO. Okay. I want to join like police service. So yes, you can join, and there also geography will help you, because if you see in any general sort of exam like WBCS, for example, if you see the course structure or if you see the question structure of WBCS, for example, there is a dedicated portion of for geography. All the competitive exam, you can see most of the competitive exam, which are like general in type, open-ended, which are not subject specific. You can see all the generic type of government recruitment exams are having a dedicated section for geography. You can expect 10 to 15 questions in form of MCQ or short answer from geography. So being a student of geography or geoinformatics, it is, we are quite privileged that our subject is always been a part of any sort of general recruitment drive. Okay. For example, in interview also, if you're going for any sort of interview, we can expect some question, regarding the environment, regarding climate change, regarding disaster, because not only these topics are a part of geography, but it is a part of general awareness also. So being a geographer, it is our advantage that we are much more aware than the common people about these general issues. So, being a student of geography or geoinformatics, try to use your knowledge of geography as a matter of advantage, which will make you a bit upfront in the race of getting a job. So, always keep in mind that whenever you are going, even you are going for a generic type of government job exam, you will expect some sort of questions from geography. So, how to prepare, it is very important. We know that preparing for government job is it's a really, we understand, is a task. So first of all, you need to understand the exam structure, whether it is objective or descriptive. Then time management, you need a lot of practice, you know with proper time. Okay. Then you need to strategize your studies, where to give the focus, how to study, how many hours to study, how to maintain the regularity of the study. These are very important. Strategic study or reliable study. Focus on the key subjects like physical geography or geomorphology, to be more specific, geomorphology, climatology, biogeography, geographical thought, environmental geography. These are very core areas of geography where you can 100% guaranteed that you will expect some question in any sort of government job competitive exams. So you need to identify the key areas where to give the focus. And for some jobs, always strengthen your practical skills also, hands-on, your practical skills, like map making, basic cartographic knowledge. These are very, very important. Basic knowledge about the sensors, about the resolutions. Okay, these are very basic knowledge that you need to be prepared with always. You need to be well equipped with all these knowledge bases. So we can see, there are lots of roles already I have talked about for the role of GIS analyst or cartographer and so on. There are lots of vacancies and posts, and you can see that there are lots of career progression opportunities also, because most of the government jobs have opportunity for what we say promotion. Promotion means your career advancements. You can go for higher and higher post. So there is a very good amount of progression also with the knowledge of geography and geoinformatics. So don't think that you will be stuffed in a stagnant post. No, you can have a lot of opportunity of career progression also and go up to the leadership positions. Okay, so it is geography and geoinformatics will make you very dynamic in your job profile or in a position of your job also. Okay, so we can see that there are some growing fields of demand at present, which is very much needed. That software proficiency like ArcGIS, QGIS, efficiency is very much needed. Analysis portion, you need to develop the satellite image, how to handle the databases, how to monitor, use of programming languages, a basic knowledge of programming languages like Python, R, these kind of things are very much needed. And these elements are very new. So job openings will increase for those people who have a very good knowledge base on this programming and visualizations. Okay, so these you can understand, these are salary trends and that can vary. Okay, so there are some key sectors that why you should go for government job, that is quite known, because the job stability factor, there is security factor, and there are lots more benefits out there which you can expect from the government job. That is why you must aspire for the government job and geoinformatics. And there are lots of initiatives are going on. So there will be much more of opening for geospatial technology in the smart city planning, environmental monitoring and resilience. It will come up with new job opportunities in upcoming days because the need is growing. And AI and big data, especially AI integration with GIS and remote sensing, is the latest development or growth, and which will give you the opportunity in near future in big data integration. So you can see how the recruitment cycle goes on. There is advertisement or application release. You need to apply for it within the fixed time period. Be very careful about these time periods. Then you have to go for written exam majority of the time. Then you have to go for the personality test or interview. Okay, so these are the very typical government recruitment policies. Okay, so here, uh, before ending, I want to give some tips. That is always the first thing you need to do, that always go for the tracking of the government job portals. Make it a regular habit to look at the government job portals, because many of the students say that the advertisement came, but when I opened the job portal, that is already closed. No, build hands-on expertise on GIS, because GIS remote sensing is all about the practical experience. You must have the knowledge of the theory portion of it, the backup logics, but the most important thing, while you are going for the exams, prepare with mock test and past questions and looking at there, and build up your network with the professionals. This is one last tip I want to do give, that is always pursue internships in the government sector, work as interns there, so you will understand their working process, the nature of work. You will understand the environment of a government office, and obviously you will come in the close contact with the government official. That maybe help you in clearing the government jobs, because your understanding, your grip on the government office environment and how they work, the grip will be much more proficient, I would say. Okay, so these are some tips that I want to give for the government jobs. Okay, these are some useful links that I can share with you at the end of this session. Okay. So thank you. Thanks for your patience hearing. So right now it is open for like your questions. If you have any question, I can see the chat box. There is no question in the chat box. But if you are having any question, please feel free to ask. If you are having any doubts regarding whatever you learn. Welcome, Shreya. I hope it will help you in getting government job in near future, or any sort of private job or research. The entire series, I think you have attended the entire series, and it will help anyone. If you're having any question. Okay, any institution we are here. um, Adamas University, I think one of the best places to have uh, training, or a degree rather. We provide degree, not only training. uh, an MSc degree, get an MSc degree with 2 years rigorous training, I would say, if you want to put it like that. So I think Adamas University is where you can actually take guidance, or you can come to us and you can take all kind of knowledge, gather all kind of knowledge and hands-on expertise. This is the place where you can, and you can be ready for any sort of job, in any kind of field. You can just unmute yourself, and you can directly interact with me also.
Sir, actually, for working professions, will they take the
Yes.
training in the Adamas University? Any provision is
Yes.
there?
If you like, yes, I get your question, that as a working professional, but if you contact us, so we can make some provisions that you also we can look out for some provisions where the working professionals can get hands-on training and brush up their skills. So you can keep contact with us.
Okay, sir, and thank you, sir.
Any of our faculty, our HOD ma'am is there. You can be her, or we would love to help you. Okay. Shreya is saying, I belong to the first batch under the NEP. My professor said I need to complete a 2 years. Let me get into the question. Says I need to complete a 2-year MSc programming geoinformatics. Yes, for Shreya, may I know that for which kind of, do you have any like aspiration for a proper kind of a job? Which kind of a job you are looking for? Because yes, MSc, yes, it is 2 years. MSc program is there, and now as you are saying that you are from the first batch of NEP, so I think you are having a 4 years graduation, 4 years BSc, if I'm not wrong. Yes. So if you're doing one like 4 years graduation, so I think 1 year's MSc also will help you. You need to find that kind of an institution or organization where the provision of 1 year MSc is also there. So you can join also because it's a government policy. So there is no problem of
Sir,
getting 1 year MSc or 2 years.
sorry for the interruption, sir. Sir, is
Yes,
there
yes,
any
Rajesh.
provision for doing the 1 year MSc in the geoinformatics? Because everywhere it is 2 years only.
No, are you a student of NEP batch? I'm talking about those people like Shreya is doing 4 years
Okay, okay, okay.
graduation.
That 1 year MSc right now only the UGC actually
Yes,
ordered that
yes,
only.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
This
If you
one
are
for
on the
the from this year only, no?
yes, yes. If you are a non-NEP batch, then it has to be the 2 years MSc. It's
Yeah.
mandatory. To answer like Mr. Balasaheb that he asked that which GIS course is best for government job, MSc Geoinformatics or MTech. I think you can go for MSc Geoinformatics and MTech. It depends on the recruitment agency because and nowadays there are so many agencies or so many recruitment bodies who are actually using it either or giving the same weightage MSc Geoinformatics or MTech in Geoinformatics. Okay, so you can look out for that. But yes, there are some agencies who have the specification for MTech or who have some specification for Geoinformatics, especially for the academic. If you are talking about academic field, then MSc Geoinformatics is much more needed.
Another thing, sir, right now that IGNO actually providing the MSc in geoinformatics for 2 years.
Yes,
Uh, can I take the training from there also? Means
very good.
online
Yes, yes,
will it be
yes,
possible?
definitely. Definitely, it is curated for the working professionals. Yes, I will encourage you to do that. It's a very good
No,
course.
actually, you are telling that hands-on practice, but it is actually in the hybrid ODL mode. I would say.
Yes, IGNO
So
is
we need to
entirely
work
ODL
now.
form, but the hands-on practice you need to do by yourself, looking at the their study materials. They give very well structured study materials, and nowadays I would say that like there are so many online platforms also. YouTube material are very very good. So you can also brush up your skills by constant practice. Even we also do. Sometimes we also keep on practicing because while we are teaching we come to face new problems, so then we need to do that also.
Okay.
So is there any other queries you can ask? Okay, so I don't think that any more queries will be there. I think this I would like to end this session, and I would like to uh, okay, our seniors are currently working as junior GIS executive in Delhi under Adams University. Oh, that's good. Okay, I'm happy to learn this. Thank you, Shreya, for sharing this. So I would like to thank all the participants first for joining this particular session. I would like to thank Professor Kasturi Mukherjee, head of the Department of Geography, for thinking of this kind of a session, designing for this kind of a session, and giving me this opportunity to place a talk on this very, very vital topic. So thank you, ma'am, for giving me this opportunity. Thank you, all my other colleagues, faculty, uh, and who encouraged me, supported me uh, to make this presentation a fruitful one. I would like to thank all the faculties who are present in today's session. There is one of our research scholars present, Shinchon. I would like to thank him for supporting me technically. Thank you. And thank you to the IT team who has provided this support of Zoom and all. So, and last but not the least, I would love to thank all the participants again, that without your participation, we cannot actually conduct this kind of session. Your response is overwhelming, and I had a very good time. Hope this particular session helped you a lot and eventually will help a lot. I have shared my email ID here. If you want to connect with us anytime, you can write a mail. We just one click away. Okay. So thank you. With this note, I want to end this session. Thank you.